just want to jump right into this presentation. If you're a plumber, electrical company, garage door, HVAC, any single thing within that sort of space, you're looking for ways to improve your operations, that's what we're going to be talking about. And my goal is that when you get off this webinar, that you can actually apply some real world practical tools within your business to start getting things going. If you were an administrator, assistant, or maybe an office manager for HVAC, electrical, or garage door company or something of that sort, and you've been tasked with, your boss came to you or your manager or whoever says, listen, things are not running well in the company. I need you to go and do some research, try to figure out some tools that we could use to help us to improve our business processes. Your job is to go out there and try to compare different systems, try to figure out what's working, what's not working. On the other hand, you might just be the owner of the company or the president or a service manager, somebody that has a lot of authority within the organization, truly understands the business inside out. You've been doing this for a really long time and you clearly recognize that there's better ways to do things. You're just trying to figure out, what can we do? How can we improve this process? And you're looking for tools, you're looking for solutions on the market. You're also probably just having difficulties managing your schedules and your technician, just trying to keep things more efficient. And you know for sure that your invoicing and your billing process is just cumbersome, right? If this resonates with you, then you're 100% in the right place. Let's talk about the challenges that we're having within the industry today, within the contractor space. Generally speaking, the biggest challenge that we're seeing is that billing is just slow. This means you can't collect money as fast as you like, which could potentially lead to cash flow issues, payroll issues. Like the list is endless. The next big challenge that we're seeing is that job tracking is a problem. Scheduling the work, figuring out what's the status of various jobs, understanding what's on hold, what's not on hold. It's just a time-consuming process, and it's just inefficient. And the system that you have is just not working for you at this particular point, whether it's manual or it's an old legacy software. These are some of the challenges that we're seeing. Last but not least is managing the technicians. Okay, trying to figure out their schedule, trying to get their time logs, trying to get them to bring their report in. Did you bring your report in? No. Where's your report? It's at home. Can you get it? I'll bring it in next week because it's Friday. Let's just take a step back for a minute here and just talk about your business as a whole, the entire entity, right? From end to end. When you think about your business across the entire lifespan of a business, these are the 7 foundational elements of a business. The challenge is that most skilled trades businesses, so HVAC, plumber, electrical, garage door, their bottleneck is not on the vision, right? Generally speaking, these guys are the owners of these businesses, or you're super smart, you understand your business inside out, you know where you need to go. You have an influx of business coming to you, right? You might have to do a little bit of word of mouth and to reach out to some people, but for the most part, there's a demand, right? There's a shortage of worker in this industry. People just need stuff done. So you, generally speaking, have a lot of demand in your business. So the problems that you're facing within your business are generally speaking around sales. And by sales in this particular case, what I'm more specifically talking about is estimates. This is where we see most contractors fall short in this area. And that's because they just have manual process altogether. Here's what end up happening with most contracting businesses. You get an accounting system, and most business owners are sitting on QuickBooks, or if it's not QuickBooks, it's Sage Accounting, or in the olden days is Business Vision, which was being bought up by 100 different other companies by now. But the point is that you're running on an accounting system. The illusion that most business owners have today is that the accounting system is what can solve the operational inefficiencies of the businesses. So you're getting your quotations out and getting the operation streamlined. That's the problem. However, if you notice on this diagram, is that the accounting, or QuickBooks in this particular case, is only really helping you with billing and accounting and obviously managing your finances. That's it. It's not helping you with operations. It's not helping you with getting quotations out the door. Because QuickBooks already knows this, they've decided to solve this problem, and I'm putting that in air quotes, solve the problem. The way how they decide to solve this problem is that they've built an app store. They said, well, we don't have the capacity to build out a true system that could solve all problems. So what we're going to do is we're going to build an app store. And we're going to get everybody to come into App Store, and the software is going to connect to our software, and then it'll be fine. Here's the problem with that. As a business owner or an administrative assistant, office manager, whoever you are, have to go and look through their marketplace to find a software that could potentially work. I've called QuickBooks up. I said, listen, I need a software to help me sync some data to another system because my accountant, blah, 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 blah. And they said, yeah, okay, no problem. We have about 4 softwares in our marketplace that could potentially meet your needs. And you could just go figure that out. And I said, okay, that sounds great, but which one do you recommend? And the exact response was, I'm sorry, sir, but we can't recommend any software. We can't recommend any software because that's not the business that we're in. I said, well, but you're the experts and you know your marketplace, and I'm just trying to get some help. They're like, that's not what we do. We can just lead you to the apps and you have to make the decision. So as a business owner, I have to now go through 750 plus apps to figure out what's going to work for me, what's going to work for my business. This is insane. I think this is absolutely nuts. But this is what you have to do. Here are the things that you need to consider if you're going to evaluate a software solution for your business. Number 1, you have to understand the technical jargon, and every different software has a slightly different nuanced language, and you just need to just understand this stuff. So now you have to be in the mindset of a software developer. Number 2, you now have to assess your business needs and then identify the specific features that's going to work for your business and basically evaluate the must-have functionality versus the nice-to-have. Now we have to figure out if this QuickBooks Desktop software can now work with this particular software that we're going to use, which is now cloud-based, if we're talking about a modern software, and integrate with our quotation system that's a desktop software, right? So now you have to figure out whether these softwares can even talk together to integrate. You also have to figure out the cost considerations. Is this software going to benefit the business, and what returns am I going to get on my investment? Now you have to figure out whether is this actually easy to use, or are they just putting some bold statements, and when I actually start using the software, I'm going to find out that it's a really complicated software. Those are just 5 things that I've outlined. You now have to go consider, as your business grows, that this software is going to evolve with the business. Is this software providing the adequate level of security that I need for my business? Is my data stored in my country? And if that's not enough, customer support. Most of the SaaS vendors or software as a service vendors that you see online, they don't even have a phone number on their website that you could call. We're not talking about the first 30 days. I'm talking 6 months later. I'm talking a year later. I'm talking 4 years later. When your business has evolved and you've now truly learned the software and you want to go really deep. And if that's not enough, now you also have to think about performance and reliability, because all software in the cloud is not made equal. Now you have to make an informed decision, gather and analyze all this stuff, just so you could figure out which software is right for me. Tell me if you're not feeling overwhelmed, because I am. I'm exhausted just reading this list to you of all the things that you need to consider when mapping out which software is going to work for your business. This is a real problem, guys. Let's talk about getting paid faster. What are the things that you need to do in order to get paid faster? Well, the first thing you need to do is just basically reduce the amount of paperwork. You have paperwork for purchase orders, you have paperwork for permits if you deal with permits. You have paperwork to get the reports, the service that was performed on the job, what materials were used, etc. You have paperwork to get the time logs. We want to reduce the paperwork by half. And the question really is, if you reduce the paperwork by half, what sort of impact will that have on your business? Is that going to improve your business? If you don't digitize it, then you can't automate it. You have to start thinking about digitizing everything in the business. And digitization is the first step to automation. You have to digitize your business. I'm sure this question has been asked within your business. What is the status of this particular job 123 or work order 123? What is the status of it? Did we receive the purchase order for this job. How come, this is funny, how come no one updated me on this? When did we, like, are you telling me that we received the purchase order last week and nobody told me about this? Are you telling me that there was a delay from this supplier and nobody told me about this? First thing that you could do right off the top is like download this app. It's called Microsoft Lens. If you've never heard of it, I want you to pick up your phone right now. I want you to go and I want you to download this app. It's called Microsoft Lens. It helps you to capture receipts, capture any sort of paperwork, etc. But not only that, it will do OCR. And for those who don't know what OCR is, it means optical character recognition. In plain English, it will extract the text from the paper document. Okay. And in fact, I'm gonna show you that right this minute. So I'm gonna pull up my real phone. Here, this is Microsoft Lens, and I'm gonna show you my messy desk here. Okay. And in fact, I have two paperwork. And I'm just gonna put it on here. I'm gonna scan it. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how this works. So this is a purchase order. I'm gonna take a picture of it, and here's what I'm gonna do. Just to give you two very clear examples so you understand why this is important. First, I'm gonna capture extracted text. Take a picture of it. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna click on confirm. It's gonna say extracting text. All right. Give it a second. And then once it does that, what it's gonna do next is just literally gonna give me all of the text in the document. All of it. Now I could easily just copy this and just send an email with the purchase order number and send it in. That's one, okay? Now, if that's not enough, let's back up a little bit. I'm gonna discard that. I'm gonna click on table. Click on table, okay? I'm gonna do the exact same thing. Capture, right? Click confirm. Extracting text again, give it a little second, all right? And this time, what it's gonna do is gonna take all the information, it's gonna put it in a table format. So here, all of the details ready to be copied and pasted, 100% accurate. Now I could simply copy that and then basically just send it to my document. The reason why it's showing red is because there's some things that it's not certain about, but I'm certain about that is correct. All right, and you could just send that in. Now, why are you going to do that? Why not just use your camera? So I'm going to take a full picture of the document. Take a picture of the document here. First of all, it cleans it up. That's the number one reason why. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click done. I'm going to change the name of the document, and this is what I'm recommending that you do to show you how to speed up the process here. And then I'm going to say PO 1672. It's a PO. And I'm going to just save that. That's the name of the document. I'm going to save that in my OneDrive. So PO 1672. Now, I just saved it to OneDrive. That document automatically goes to my OneDrive folder immediately. That's the reason why I want you to do this, because this is a real world application that you could do right today, free of cost, that could just help you. And here I have that document, PO 1672. Now the reason why this is important is because when that document gets to this OneDrive folder, you could start thinking about automating that process. I'm going to show you how that works. Okay, so when that document goes to that folder, the first thing that could happen is you could have your purchase order. Let's pretend for a second that you have your purchase orders and they're in Excel, right? Because you're just keeping things in Excel. The number that I did was 1672. I could now have an automated script that, because I saved the file with the same name, it could automatically, with automation, update this here. It will automatically update the Excel to received automatically. Now I'm an admin person or a purchase order manager or whatever, and I'm reviewing my Excel. I was like, oh, this is received. Oh, where is it? I could go look at that particular folder to find that file. I could come in here and I could notify my manager that job. So I could just put yes here. Notify manager, yes. Now, when I do that, I will kick off another service so that it could send an email to my service manager telling him that the work order was received, and that the purchase order was 1672, and this is the work order. And if I could put some more details inside of here from that spreadsheet. Okay, that's something that you could do today, right this minute, to start automating that process. Now I know the next question you're going to ask me, how do you do it? Okay, and that's where using a tool like Power Automate comes in. So this is a Microsoft tool, and this allows you to just automate the process of capturing information. Now, if you don't want to use Power Automate and you're familiar with some of the other ones, some of the alternatives on the market are Zapier and make.com. I recommend Microsoft Automate. The reason why I recommend Power Automate is because it directly integrates very seamlessly with OneDrive and stuff like that. But if you're a Google Docs or a Google Drive person, Zapier would work really well for you, or make.com, they would also work really well. Those tools in fact work better with like Google Suites. But I just want to give you a real world practical use of a way that you could start automating the process. Step number one is digitize the process. Digitize the paperwork. Download Microsoft Lens, snap pictures of that document that will automatically go to your OneDrive. Okay, once that gets to your OneDrive, Power Automate will sit in the background monitoring, looking for new files. Because it sees the purchase order number, it can then go and update the Excel spreadsheet. Now you as a manager could then go in and think. In fact, it can update the Excel spreadsheet and send an email to your office manager or your purchase manager or whoever it is. And it could update an item, a purchase order in QuickBooks automatically. This is something that you could do today. The problem I want to highlight is that there's just a lot of tools, a lot of disconnected tools in the market. So you could do and you could stitch all these different tools together. The problem is there's a lot of disconnected tools, and this is an overwhelming set of mess. Okay, so there's a lot of challenges when you try to do this. Again, if that's all you wanted to do, go use that tool, try to make something work. But the problem is that now you have an automated tool that's doing this, you have QuickBooks that's doing something else, you have a quotation tool that's doing something else, now you need a CRM tool, right? It's just a lot of challenges with using and having these disconnected software systems. Challenges with disconnected system is that it reduces inefficiency, a lot of data inconsistency when you have disconnected software. Okay. The second thing is that there's just poor communication and collaboration because your systems are disconnected, right? These are major challenges if you're running an organization, and not to mention the just increased costs, right? You might not be seeing it, but there's just maintaining all these different systems is just a higher cost. It might not necessarily be a monetary cost, but it's just a time cost, and that directly translates to money, right? So these are just major challenges that we're seeing in the industry when you have all these disconnected tools. So what is basically the goal? The goal is to try and simplify this process. Because of these problems, this is where SnapSuite comes in. Okay, so SnapSuite essentially is an all-in-one system. This is what we were designed to do. It's an all-in-one system that allows you to bring all of these disconnected parts. Everything that I've shown you can be done in SnapSuite. You could scan documents and have it go directly to a purchase order in SnapSuite because we use AI to extract the information, put it into right purchase order, associate it with the right work order. And SnapSuite brings all these things together so you don't have to do multiple different tools, multiple different processes, multiple different systems, multiple different training, etc. Just one comprehensive system. In real time, we could pull data from your technicians. Right? You got emails that are coming in, you could forward those into the system. The system will automatically categorize those documents and put it and associate it with the right document, work order, purchase order, whatever it is. And you could bring your Microsoft Word documents that we're using for quotations into SnapSuite and then generate your quotes or your estimates on top of that. At the end of the day, we will basically output that data to QuickBooks or to another Excel spreadsheet or Sage Accounting or any of the other 300 plus software we integrate with. So this is a way to help you to streamline your operations all together. And on the mobile side, I just want to give you some quick screenshots of the different so you can understand. So on the mobile side, you have the ability to receive dispatch job notifications, right? These are technicians, right? Getting the notifications on the job. They could then update the status of those jobs. They could record voice notes. You could say, hey, I worked on this building, needs a new installation of a new garage door, and need to get this ASAP because the customer needs it right away. Record that voice notes, and we will automatically transcribe that and put it into the notes so that you could get that notes recorder. And then send digital copies of, like I said, all your purchase orders, work orders, etc. All of that going into the system. Okay, so just a quick screenshot of the dashboard of SnapSuite. I'm not going to go into this in too many details, but here you have new service calls that are coming in. You have dispatch calls. Then you have jobs that are completed, ready for invoice. You can see that right off the top. You don't have to think about it or go anywhere. Jobs that are waiting, that are on hold, waiting for purchase orders, etc. Right? And clicking on any of these will give you the details below. These are the work orders below here. All right. Screen I want to just show you very quickly is just a technician report. So remember all that data that's coming in from your technician, your time log, etc. All that information is coming into one simple system where you could see that in this particular case, we got Ada Lovelace that worked only 1.6 hours this year. This is starting of the year, right? And Albert Einstein that did 2 hours. This available hours, I just want to point this out. This available hours is you could uncheck that and they will actually show you of the 2 hours you have a part-time worker and they're supposed to work for 20 hours in a week, how much of their usage of their hours have been used up already. And you could see overall how many total hours were logged, how much were regular time, how much overtime, what labor utilization. This is a big one, right? My guys are supposed to be working 40 hours and they're only working 30 or 10 or 20, right? It shows you the utilization rate of your employees. So just a quick high-level overview of SnapSuite. What's next? First of all, you could do nothing, right? This presentation is like, Dwayne, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. It was a great presentation. However, you're just too busy, a lot of challenge right now, and don't have the time to focus on improving or enhancing your business operations at this particular point. If you don't think this is important enough to you to make a change, to transform your business, to change your business, there's nothing that I could say or do that could help you with that. Right? You have to make that choice and you have to think, you're finding value, you found value within this presentation, it's something that you're interested in, you want to have a more in-depth conversation. It's like, the points that you're making were great, however, it's not really specific to my case. Let's have a call, right? So that I could do a little bit more deep dive in your business to understand what is it that you need in your business. And then I could divide, make a decision on whether we're a right fit to work together, whether we have the right solution for your business, and that we can evaluate. And your goal is to schedule a call with me so I could learn specifically about your business and understand in depth what's happening, and then we can make a decision from there. If you do decide to schedule a call, it's just exactly where you see. So after this webinar, it's going to automatically redirect you to a page. That page will have a schedule a call arm that looks like this. You choose whatever time works for you. It's going to send you over to another page. Really, you do have to fill in your name and email address, unfortunately, again. This time it'll ask you a few more specific questions about your company, about your phone number, how many technicians you have, just so we can kind of pair and know exactly who is it that we're talking to and what is it that we need to do in order to set up. If that's you and you want to talk a little bit more, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thankfully, I've inspired you at least to consider making a change in digitizing your process and automating it.